A friend of mine destroyed himself trying to be the good guy. He gave everything, forgave everyone, and sacrificed his own peace for people who barely remembered him. 3 years later, I met him again. He was no longer broken. He was calm, disciplined, and impossible to control. He told me one sentence I never forgot. The world didn't change. I changed. I stopped being easy to break. That truth applies to almost everyone. Right now, 2 versions of you exist. The first version explains too much, apologizes too often, accepts disrespect, and keeps hoping people will change. You work hard to earn love, respect, and approval, but the more you give, the less people value you. The second version stays quiet. It doesn't argue, beg, or chase. It simply walks away when respect disappears. No drama, no guilt, just action. Most people stay trapped in the first version for years. They become soft when life demands strength. They choose endless kindness when wisdom requires limits. Machiavelli taught that if you cannot be both loved and feared, being feared is safer. He wasn't praising cruelty. He was teaching control. A person who cannot be manipulated is far more powerful than one who is simply liked. Today, you will learn 8 changes that build that kind of strength. Each step will force you to leave behind an old habit. It may feel uncomfortable, but it will make you stronger. Real peace does not come from other people. It comes from mastering yourself. If you don't become mentally strong, the world will keep testing your weakness. 1. Stop giving your energy to ungrateful people. Your biggest weakness was never your good heart. It was giving it to the wrong people. You kept helping, forgiving, and explaining yourself, hoping they would finally appreciate you. Most never did. Power follows a simple rule. People often value what is difficult to. When you give your time, attention, and forgiveness too easily, many stop respecting them. They begin to think your kindness comes from a need to be accepted. The moment someone believes you need their approval, they gain power over you. Machiavelli understood this. People often disrespect those who are always available because they never fear losing them. Think about it. If a friend insults you again and again, and you always forgive without changing anything, what happens? They don't become more grateful. They become more comfortable treating you badly. That is not compassion. That is teaching others that your boundaries do not matter. People remember consequences more than explanations. Respect grows when your actions match your words. Every time you accepted disrespect without a response, you silently told others it was acceptable. The world does not punish you for being kind. It punishes you for being harmless. Some people don't attack your body. They attack your emotions. They use your guilt to control you. They make you feel selfish for protecting your own peace. Never believe you owe loyalty simply because you once cared. Your time, trust, and loyalty are valuable. Give them only to people who consistently show respect. Everyone else should experience your absence, not your endless patience. Sometimes the strongest message is not an argument. It is quietly walking away. Detachment protects your peace. Indifference protects your power. Machiavelli understood human nature when he wrote that people can be ungrateful, dishonest, fearful, and driven by self-interest. His lesson was simple. Never give too much power to people who don't value you. They will use your kindness for their own benefit. Many people believe being good is enough. It isn't. Kindness without boundaries becomes weakness. Being ruthless does not mean being cruel. It means correcting what no longer deserves your time. Stop rewarding betrayal with another chance. Stop answering every message. Stop forgiving every lie. Stop explaining why you walked away. The moment you stop reacting, people who depended on your attention lose their control over you. That is when the balance of power changes. You decide who deserves your time and who no longer belongs in your life. Your energy is like money. Spend it wisely. Every minute wasted on the wrong people is strength stolen from your future. Protect it. Build it. Invest it in yourself. If someone asks why you become distant, the answer is simple. You finally saw the truth. Some people deserve your distance more than your loyalty. 2. Turn pain into power. Pain is the most honest teacher. It doesn't care about excuses. It reveals your weak points and forces you to face reality. The difference between weak and powerful people is not how much pain they experience. It is what they do with it. Many people suffer and spend years asking, "Why did this happen to me?" Strong people ask a different question. "What can this teach me?" That single question changes everything. Imagine someone betrays your trust. One person spends months blaming the past. Another studies the mistake, becomes wiser, chooses better people, and never repeats it. Both felt the same pain. Only one gained power. Machiavelli believed that difficult times create strong minds. Every crisis hides a lesson for those willing to see it. Pain is not your enemy. It is information. Every betrayal teaches you where your trust was misplaced. Every rejection reminds you that your value should never depend on another person's opinion. Every failure shows you what must improve. Once you understand this, pain stops being a burden. It becomes a weapon. Strong people do not chase closure. They chase growth. They study their mistakes instead of hiding from them. They turn heartbreak into discipline. They turn disappointment into focus. That is true resilience. Life will hurt everyone. The question is whether you let it destroy you or strengthen you. Sit with the pain instead of running from it. Face it. Understand it. Once you survive your hardest moments, fear loses its power over you. And when fear disappears, you become difficult to manipulate. People can no longer control you with rejection, guilt, or threats because you already know you can survive without their approval. Hardship also changes the way you see people. You stop believing empty words. You trust actions. You choose logic over emotion. You become calmer, slower to react, and harder to deceive. People notice that quiet strength, not because you speak loudly, because you no longer need to. Your scars become proof of growth, not signs of weakness. The next time life hurts you, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What advantage can I build from this?" Every painful experience hides a lesson. Those who use that lesson become stronger than those who try to escape it. 3. Kill the need to be understood. The need to be understood keeps many people weak. You explain your actions, defend your choices, and hope others will finally see your good intentions. But most people are not trying to understand you. They are trying to judge you. Some listen to learn. Many listen to find your weakness. The more you explain yourself, the more information you give others to use against you. That is why truly powerful people do not reveal everything. They let others wonder. They let others guess. Their silence protects them. Machiavelli believed that a leader should speak with purpose, not with the need for approval. When you explain too much, you quietly admit that you still want validation. Real power does not ask for permission. It does not defend itself. It simply acts. Think about someone who suddenly leaves a toxic friendship without arguing. People will create stories. Some will call them cold. Some will call them arrogant. But none of those opinions change the truth. The person who walked away keeps their peace. The ones left behind keep guessing. That uncertainty creates strength. History shows that the best leaders revealed less than they knew. They observed more than they spoke. You should do the same. Every unnecessary explanation gives away your emotions. It teaches people how to predict you. And once people can predict you, they can influence you. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your silence, your distance, your standards, or your decisions. Let people misunderstand you. A false opinion cannot damage a person who knows who they are. The moment you stop correcting everyone, you take back your energy. Silence is not weakness. It is controlled confidence. It forces others to think while you stay calm. That is psychological strength. Notice the strongest people in any room. They are rarely the loudest. They speak only when their words matter. Their calm presence earns respect without demanding it. Become that person. When someone tries to provoke you, don't rush to react. Let your silence become your answer. When someone judges you unfairly, let them keep their opinion. Not every misunderstanding deserves your attention. You don't become powerful by convincing everyone. You become powerful by trusting yourself enough that their opinions no longer control you. The day you stop needing others to understand you, is the day you truly begin to understand yourself. 4. Detach. Never beg. The moment you beg for attention, love, respect, or closure, you give away your power. The more you chase someone who is leaving, the less value they see in you. Detachment is not being cold. It is knowing when to walk away to protect your self-respect. Many people confuse attachment with loyalty. They are not the same. Loyalty is a choice. Attachment is dependence. Imagine someone keeps ignoring your messages. Instead of accepting the truth, you send more texts, make more excuses, and keep asking for another chance. Every message lowers your value. Now imagine you simply stop chasing. You accept reality, focus on your own life, and move forward. Your peace returns. That is real strength. Machiavelli understood that the person who needs the least usually has the greatest power. When you chase approval, affection, or attention, you silently tell others that your happiness depends on them. And dependence is easy to control. People naturally respect those who can walk away without anger or desperation. Your willingness to leave is often stronger than your ability to argue. Never beg for a place where your presence is not valued. Walk away with dignity. Protect your peace. The strongest position is never forcing someone to stay. It is knowing you will be fine even if they leave. Machiavelli believed that a person who cannot control themselves will never truly control their life. If your emotions control every decision, other people can control you too. Strong people do not detach because they have no feelings. They detach because they refuse to let emotions make their choices. When someone pulls away, they don't chase. They observe. When someone shows disrespect, they don't argue. They quietly leave. Their silence says more than a long conversation ever could. In a world where many people seek emotional reactions, detachment removes their greatest weapon. Without your reaction, they lose influence over you. That is where real power begins. Imagine someone insults you just to make you angry. If you argue, they have already controlled your emotions. If you stay calm and walk away, they gain nothing. You keep your peace, they lose their power. The strongest weapon is not anger. It is calm indifference. When people cannot predict your reactions, they become careful around you. You stop waiting for others to change. You begin deciding what deserves your attention. People who once ignored you often notice when you stop chasing them. Not because you became louder, because your silence speaks louder than your words ever did. Detachment gives you something valuable. Freedom, the freedom to leave chaos without losing your peace. Machiavelli understood that anyone controlled by emotions can easily be controlled by other people. Master your attachment, and you master yourself. Not everyone deserves your time. Not every emotion deserves an immediate response. Not every relationship deserves another chance. Learn to step back without making an announcement. Close doors quietly. Sometimes your absence teaches a lesson that your words never could. The more you detach, the stronger you become. Real strength is loving someone, while still being willing to walk away the moment they destroy your self-respect. Detachment is not about caring less. It is about respecting yourself more. The day you stop begging for love or attention is the day you stop giving others power over your life. 5. Boundaries are your armor. Boundaries protect your peace. Without them, anyone can enter your life, take your time, drain your energy, and leave you exhausted. Many people think saying no is selfish. It isn't. Refusing to protect yourself is the real mistake. Every time you accept disrespect just to avoid conflict, you lose a little more self-respect. Every time you forgive repeated betrayal without consequences, you teach others that your limits don't matter. Weak people mistake endless tolerance for kindness. Wise people know that kindness without limits becomes self-betrayal. Think about someone who constantly asks for favors, but disappears whenever you need help. If you always say yes, they expect it. If you politely refuse once, they quickly learn that your time has value. That is how healthy boundaries work. Machiavelli believed that a person who cannot protect themselves cannot expect others to protect them. The world respects people who value themselves. People naturally test the limits you never enforce. If you never stop them, they keep pushing further. Boundaries are not walls built from hate. They are gates opened only for people who show respect. They bring clarity, and clarity removes every opportunity for manipulation. When you calmly say no without guilt, people understand that your standards are real. When someone betrays your trust, and you remove their access, you prove that your self-respect is not negotiable. Strong boundaries do not make you cruel. They make you difficult to exploit, and people think twice before crossing someone who knows exactly where the line is. The powerful do not argue for respect. They earn it through their actions. When someone repeatedly disrespects them, they don't debate. They create distance. Forgiveness without consequences teaches people they can hurt you again. Mercy without limits creates more problems. The moment you stop rewarding bad behavior with your time and attention, people begin to understand your value. Some will call you arrogant. Others will say you've changed. Wise people will recognize something different. You finally respect yourself. Machiavelli believed that if you keep allowing yourself to be deceived, people will continue taking advantage of you. You teach others how to treat you by what you accept. Imagine a coworker who constantly speaks to you with disrespect. If you laugh it off every time, nothing changes. If you calmly refuse to accept it and reduce your contact, they quickly realize the rules have changed. Strong boundaries protect your peace. The wrong people leave. The right people stay. People who truly respect you will never ask you to lower your standards. They will respect them. Kindness should always be protected by wisdom. The goal is not to make everyone like you. The goal is to make people respect your limits. Every boundary you set says one thing: this is where my peace begins. 6. Master the art of silence. Silence is one of the strongest forms of power. Most people are uncomfortable with it. They keep talking because they want approval, attention, or control. But every unnecessary word reveals something about you. Machiavelli believed that revealing too much makes you predictable, and predictable people are easier to manipulate. Silence protects your advantage. It keeps others guessing. Imagine a negotiation. One person talks non-stop, explaining every thought. The other listens carefully and speaks only when necessary. Who appears stronger? Almost always the quiet one. Silence is not empty. It is strategy. When you speak less, people often reveal more about themselves. They expose their fears, emotions, and intentions while trying to understand you. That information is valuable. Strong people listen more than they speak. They observe before acting. They choose the right moment, instead of reacting immediately. Every calm pause gives you more control. Every unnecessary word gives away a little of your power. Machiavelli understood that mystery creates influence. The less people know about your plans, the harder it becomes to stop you. Uncertainty makes people think carefully before acting against you. You don't need to raise your voice to command attention. Your calm presence is often more powerful than loud confidence. History remembers leaders who stayed composed under pressure, not those who argued about every insult. When someone tries to provoke you, don't always answer. Sometimes silence is the strongest reply. When someone insults you just to get a reaction, staying calm takes away their victory. When someone wants an argument, refusing to join it often frustrates them more than any clever comeback. People expect noise. They rarely expect calm. And calm is where real control begins. Machiavelli believed that wise people act early, while foolish people wait until it is too late. Foolish people defend themselves with endless words. Wise people protect themselves with calm actions. The moment you stop explaining everything, you stop reacting emotionally and start thinking strategically. Real power does not ask to be understood. It is felt through confidence, discipline, and self-control. Silence makes you difficult to predict, and people are careful around what they cannot predict. When you control your words, you also control your power. In a world where everyone wants attention, the person who speaks with purpose stands out. 7. Give loyalty wisely. Loyalty is valuable only when it is earned. Blind loyalty often becomes a trap. Machiavelli warned that people can change when fear, desire, or personal gain enters the picture. That is why trust should be built slowly, not given freely. The world rewards good judgment, not blind devotion. If you become completely dependent on one person, you slowly lose your independence. Think about an employee who does everything for one manager, believing loyalty alone will protect them. When leadership changes, that loyalty may no longer matter. The person who kept learning, building skills, and staying independent is often in the stronger position. Real loyalty should never cost you your freedom. Support people who respect you, but never lose your ability to walk away if your values or self-respect are no longer protected. Strong people stay loyal to principles before personalities. They understand that friendships, partnerships, and alliances can change over time. That doesn't mean becoming dishonest. It means staying aware of reality. Machiavelli believed that depending completely on one person makes you vulnerable. Keep your independence. Keep improving yourself. Never place your future in someone else's hands. When people know you can leave if necessary, they value your presence more. Your loyalty becomes something they appreciate, not something they expect. Loyalty given with wisdom creates respect. Loyalty given without thought often creates disappointment. Always let your greatest commitment be to your purpose, your values, and your growth. 8. Become untouchable. The highest form of power is becoming untouchable. Not because no one can hurt you, but because no one controls how you respond. People will criticize you. Some will betray you. Life will create problems you never expected. You cannot control those things. You can only control yourself. Weak people react to everything. Strong people choose their response. Imagine two people receiving the same insult. One loses control, argues, and carries the anger for days. The other stays calm, smiles, and continues moving toward their goals. The insult touched only one of them. That is the difference. Machiavelli believed that true freedom begins with self-mastery. If other people control your emotions, they control part of your life. An untouchable person no longer chases approval. They no longer depend on praise. They do not measure their value by someone else's opinion. Their confidence comes from within. That is why they remain calm during chaos. Nothing shakes them easily, because their peace is built on discipline, not on other people's behavior. The world cannot always be controlled. Your mind can. And once you master that, you become harder to manipulate, harder to distract, and harder to defeat. That is where real power begins. Seeking constant approval is a trap. The more your confidence depends on other people, the easier it is for them to influence your decisions. Real strength begins when your peace comes from within. Instead of chasing approval, build yourself. Develop useful skills. Practice discipline. Think before you react. Stay calm when others lose control. That is where lasting confidence is built. People naturally respect those who remain steady under pressure. When you no longer depend on praise, criticism also loses its power over you. You become difficult to manipulate because your emotions no longer belong to everyone around you. Strong people do not react to every insult or disappointment. They respond with purpose. Their anger is controlled. Their emotions serve their goals instead of ruling them. Every decision is intentional. Every silence has meaning. Machiavelli believed that if you cannot be both loved and feared, it is safer to be respected enough that people think carefully before crossing you. That respect comes from consistency, self-control, and clear boundaries, not from intimidation. Imagine someone trying to provoke you in front of others. If you lose your temper, they control the moment. If you stay calm and continue with confidence, they lose their influence. Your composure becomes your greatest strength. The truly untouchable person is not someone who never faces problems. It is someone who refuses to let problems control their mind. To reach that level, let go of the need for constant approval. Stop chasing recognition. Stop explaining every decision. Stop carrying resentment that steals your peace. Build a life where your confidence comes from your own actions. When your identity is built on discipline instead of opinion, very little can shake you. People notice that quiet strength. Some will respect it. Others may not understand it. Either way, Your direction no longer depends on them. You move with purpose because you have mastered the one thing that matters most. Yourself. The world will test your patience. Some people will disappoint you. Life will not always be fair. But every challenge can become a lesson if you choose to learn instead of complain. Today you have learned 8 powerful principles. Protect your energy. Turn pain into wisdom. Stop needing everyone to understand you. Detach from what destroys your peace. Build strong boundaries. Master silence. Give loyalty with wisdom. And above all, master yourself. None of these habits are easy. They require patience, discipline, and courage. But every step makes you harder to manipulate and stronger in character. As Machiavelli taught, wise people act before circumstances force them to. Choose wisdom before life teaches it through suffering. Walk forward with confidence. Speak with purpose. Protect your peace. Let your actions become your reputation. The strongest person is not the loudest. It is the one who cannot be controlled by fear, anger, or the opinions of others. Master yourself. Everything else becomes easier after that.